people inside Iran, they have died for this.
Islamic ideology is a big threat to the world in 21st century.
That was incredible. Our truck just went by and all the Iranians started cheering and waving for it.
This is the only thing that we can do here, and hopefully the board can hear us.
It is time to value what the people really want.
With Rebel News, we are here on Parliament Hill with the Iranian community in Ottawa, who are demonstrating almost weekly now in support of Iranians back home in Iran. The thing about the Iranian community in Ottawa is they have been receiving very little coverage. The massive crowds in Toronto, 100,000 people, 200,000 people, have just barely gotten a little bit of mainstream coverage. These guys are almost completely ignored. CTV was here last week and they did minimal coverage. They've been begging to be heard, so we answered, and we are here to cover today's rally in solidarity with the Iranian people. R2P for Iran! What is the message behind the rally today?
We're all here today to be the voice of our people in my country, in Iran, because they're being occupied for more than 47 years. Now the time has finally come. People are in the streets, in front of the bullets. They're dying on the streets.
We are protesting against the Islamic Republic of Iran. They are a dictatorial regime.
People in Iran are desperate. We are here on the street to speak on behalf of people that they have been killed because of just very peaceful walk on the street.
Every Sunday, people here are trying to come in, no matter what is the weather. You can see today is really, really freezing.
Protesting against the bad situations that they have, economically, politically, everything.
How has the coverage been of your rallies here in Ottawa?
Well, the coverage hasn't been as great as I thought. Among the Iranian community, it's like a very good coverage, but outside of that, the mainstream media, I don't really see much coverage, unfortunately.
We had some biased news about like the community and then the regimes, but we're still trying our best to really bring the focus of the news and then the TV and all this stuff to our protests, and then because it's a human rights, you know.
They try to censor and filter the reality.
There hasn't been enough coverage of what's happening in Iran. Unlike a lot of other cases that are happening around the world, it's not being covered. It's absolutely because of political reasons, because of the complexity of the situation in Iran.
The Super Bowl stadium, it has a capacity of 70,000 to 80,000. Just imagine a terrorist act inside that stadium and everyone has died, even more than that. What will media do to that? It's going to be exploding all over the world, but about this, it's nothing.
What is happening in Iran is very unhuman, and the fact that countries are ignoring that means that their priorities aren't us humans, aren't the people.
It makes you question what you see in the mainstream media and whether you get to see the whole picture or not.
There is a problem here in Canada that other foreign medias, they are blocked. And also Canadian media, they're not covering. So the question is why?
Whatever the mainstream media is showing you about the regime does not represent people of Iran. People of Iran, they want their freedom, they want the right to choose their type of the government.
We've got our message for Iranians, Canadians for freeiran.com. Again, please head to the website, sign the petition, and stand with the Iranian people seeking freedom.
We're not hearing the voice of the people who are chanting King Reza Pahlavi, because we're all asking him to be our alternative and get rid of the Islamic Republic.
You want Reza Pahlavi to be your transitional leader to a democratic Iran, but a lot of people think because you want Reza Pahlavi back that you want a monarchy and you don't want democracy. What do you say to that?
It does not matter. That's not the message. Our Prince Reza Pahlavi, I'm calling him a king because he swore an oath, and I believe he's a true king.
The people have found a leader. The leader is completely ready, and he has the legitimacy in many, many different governments.
We should still let people to decide by means of a referendum. A regime change doesn't necessarily mean a monarchy. It could be a secular government?
Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi really brought the oppositional groups and all the people together.
People will choose if they want a monarchy or if they want another people, and I respect that.
We want the world to recognize Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi as the official transition leader.
The people inside and outside Iran has chosen him. They believe in him, and we can reach the referendum we always wanted to be able to choose our destiny.
What Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi repeatedly mentioned is that he's not looking for a monarchy or a position. He's just helping us to guide to that referendum. It's based on the Iranian people whether they want a republic or a constitutional monarchy.
Our king wants to give the people the ability to choose their future. We want to follow anything that people choose. We are against everything that Islamic Republic of Iran is. We are against their proxies, their terrorism, and we want to have a relationship with the Western countries.
We're all hoping we can have our king back and get rid of this regime.
Right now we're talking about a dictatorship being there for 47 years. So first thing, we have to focus to kick these guys out. Without that, there is no democracy.
I'm a student at the University of Ottawa, and one of my friends has a class about Iran from the Qajar dynasty until the present time. And this professor has done an interview on a news channel.
The problem is that there's no alternative democratic ready to take over from the Islamic Republic. There are plausible scenarios of prolonged instability after regime collapse.
This professor is spreading very wrong news, and it's hard to think that he doesn't know because he's studied Iran, right? He has the responsibility to have the right information and spread the right information.
Whoever says anything else is just not true, and I believe that we're gonna have a referendum, free referendum, and then we will see what the results will be.
We also want the Canadian government to recognize the Crown Prince as the true leader.
What is your message for Mark Carney and the Canadian government right now?
We really want Canada to take actions. We're not having an embassy in Canada. It's been years that Iran does not have an embassy in Canada. We want to have good relationship with the rest of the world.
We're actually asking Canadian government to support Iranian people and their protests.
Everyone knows Canada is one of the avant-garde kind of countries in human rights. When it comes to Iran, it seems like everyone's going cricket.
We're expecting the media of Canada as well as Mark Carney as a prime minister to take action and be the voice of people in Iran.
We really need Prime Minister Carney to hear the voice of the Iranian community and the Jewish community in Canada.
We're asking the Canadian government to really increase that pressure on the Islamic regime until they fall. And we actually want something else from the Canadian government with this protest, is that to open a direct dialogue with Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi and his advisors for a democratic transition.
First of all, deport all those IRGC people in here. They are doing money laundering for the regime and trying to supply the regime that blood money, and Canada letting them at the moment. Hopefully stops.
Is it a concern of yours that Mark Carney is getting closer and closer to Qatar?
It is actually. We are quite surprised, and nobody cares that many different governments such as Qatar are lobbying against the will of the people in Iran.
Kick these IRGC people out of this country. At least that's the least that Canadian government can do for Canadians.
Canada, act now! 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 Canada, act now!
That was incredible. Our truck just went by and all the Iranians started cheering and waving for it with our message, Canadians for freeiran.com. They are so underrepresented here and receiving so little coverage that they were so excited to see our truck. It was really heartwarming. Are IRGC terrorists in Canada a concern for you?
It is. Of course it is. That's why people like me are here and helping these protesters, because even them, they're not safe.
We want Canada to know that the people in Iran are being occupied. We don't want Islam. We don't want Islamic Republic. That's not our religion. It's being forced and we don't have a choice.
Everyone who cares about the human right, they have to really support this kind of protest and all this stuff.
Canadians should really value their freedoms, and they should really protect their values. They shouldn't be afraid of practicing the rights to. It's not racist if you want to keep your country safe. It's not racist if you want to keep your country the way it was 20, 30 years ago. You know, you shouldn't. You know, that's what happened to Iran.
I love Canada and I love my country, Iran as well. And I think Reza Pahlavi would give a better future for Iranian and even Canadian.
Join Iranian Canadians in demanding member of parliaments to support them.
I love Canada. Everyone loves Canada. That's why we're here. I did my graduate studies here. I brought my wife here. I have a life here. I love Canada.
In Western societies, they are saying being proud of your country is kind of wrong, but I believe that every person deserves to be proud of their country.
I heard a lady on the hill, she was shouting that these are not our problems. This is Canadian soil. This is not Canada's problem, but it is. Why? Because the Canadian government has let a lot of people from IRGC on this soil.
4 years ago exactly, we had the Freedom Convoy here.
That was, I think, the biggest movement in modern history of Canada in about,
Just imagine if the government would start to shoot all of those truckers. How would you feel as a Canadian, as someone who is living in a democratic country? We are here just to be the voice of people in Iran.
I felt I'm in Iran again, like people, had their bank accounts frozen, they got, arrested and all that. I'm like, is this really Canada?
Hi, officer. How's it going today?
Trying to stay warm.
Yeah. Has it been everything gone smoothly today?
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. Good crowd?
Good crowd.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Let me be honest, we don't enjoy blocking the road, creating interruption in the city. I really feel bad for my neighbors, for my friends, to create this chaos in the city. We are not here to do that. We are just here to say, let's talk about what's happening in Iran.
It's a very peaceful protest, but there's been some incidents around the world that a certain group that I don't want to name them, they come and they interrupt the peace. So we want to keep it peaceful.
Has that been an ongoing problem in Ottawa, or are the police aware enough to kind of keep them away?
Thankfully, we haven't had many incidents in Ottawa, but I know it happened in Calgary a couple of times.
We need military action from United States. As President Trump has promised people, now it's time for that, because no matter what we do, the government has the weapons and everything that we cannot fight back.
Can I ask you why you carry the Ukrainian flag?
Yes, I think we're all fighting for the same thing. We want freedom in our countries, and we have forces in the world that are currently rebelling against human rights.
Why do you carry the Israeli flag as well?
First of all, many thanks to our brothers and sisters in Israel. We will never forget that the only country on the planet whose people stood with us was Israel. No other country did that.
Well, if you look at the flags, you see Canadian flags, you see American flags, and most people who are here, they value the fact that they're allowed to protest, they're allowed to practice their rights freely, and without violence. We want to keep it that way. We don't want to bite the hand that feeds. Coming to Canada and wave foreign flags and then burn the Canadian flags. That's not us.
Don't confuse the problem with Palestine with Hamas. I'm one of those people who's been on the protest for Palestine. Why? Because I care about the human rights, but the Islamic Republic is funding Hamas.
What do you think about kind of the, I don't want to say conspiracy, but conspiracy theories that the CIA and Mossad is behind what's going on in Iran right now?
I don't think that's true. We're actually asking their support, but the support for human rights is not a foreign interference, really. We're actually asking them to increase the pressure on the regime's repressive institutions. We're not asking them to find a leader for us or choose a leader or a future system for us.
We will not stop. We will show up every single week until victory and until the freedom you wanted will be delivered.
You were talking about how you want to get the message out for next weekend. What's going on next weekend?
That's right, yes. So it's very important that it's a cross-Canada summoning all Iranian patriots on Saturday 14th in Toronto. This is what the leader of the Lion and Sun Revolution, Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, has called upon all people, all Iranians in Canada to gather in Toronto.
We have a big plan for that, because this is one of the biggest calls since Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi has called upon our people.
I love Rebel News. It's a really great news. Have a good day.
Thank you. You can tell this is a true grassroots movement where all the people are being represented, because there's not just one person here that's allowed to talk to the media. I can move and intermingle throughout the crowd and talk to anybody, and the message remains the same, and the people are united. If you believe that Iranians should be free from the brutal regime that has been occupying their homeland for 47 years, please head to CanadiansForAFreeIran.com.